When our company moved our office location, I was one of the few that objected. I had moved here specifically for this job, and the new spot would have me travel for about an hour every day. Unfortunately for me, I was overruled. The new location had better public transit connections, so it was advantageous for most employees. I wasn't used to public transit up until then. My apartment was so close to my job before, I'd simply walk every day. That's why when I took my first commute a week ago, I overlooked to check if there were any updates regarding transit for the day. I had already arrived at the station when I saw a sign that read, "Cancellation due to strikes today." I laughed to myself as I took out my phone to call a cab. I still had much to learn, apparently. Then I heard a train come in. I was aware that even if trains are canceled, they're still used for other reasons. Training new employees or simply relocating the train to a different station, for example. That's why I was confused when it stopped in front of me and I could see people inside. The digital billboard behind me still had the cancellation message on it when I turned around to make sure. Looking at the info on the train, however, it clearly said, Line 4, Green Street. That was my connection. As the train doors opened and people got out, I grabbed my bag and got on immediately. I looked around for a free seat and sat down as soon as I found one. The hour-long commute began. The train was packed, unsurprisingly. 6:30 a.m. on one of the busiest subway lines in a big metropolis. That's why I wasn't surprised when the train got so crowded. I wouldn't be able to stand up without asking people to move out of the way. What did surprise me, however, was that past the first couple of stations, no one seemed to be getting on the train anymore. The train was full, of course. Getting on it when there was no space anymore was literally impossible. However, the stations we were stopping at were empty now as well. Nobody was waiting for this train anymore. In addition to that, people have not gotten off the train in pretty much the same amount of time. When I saw no one neither enter nor leave for 5 stations in a row, I got worried. I was starting to feel claustrophobic. I looked at my phone to check the time, hoping we would arrive soon. 45 minutes to go. I checked the rideshare app again to see how much a trip to work from the next station would cost me. $25. Sure, whatever. I'd pay that and be done with it. And starting tomorrow, I'd simply work from home, unless there was something important going on at the office. I decided to listen to my fears and get off at the next station. Something about this situation was making me incredibly uncomfortable. That's when it started. I noticed the train had not stopped in a good 5 to 6 minutes now. It wasn't simply going past the stations without stopping. There haven't been any stations. All I could see when I looked out the window was the dark and dusty tunnel. I decided to give it a bit more time until I'd officially freak out. But after I saw no change in scenery for the next 10 minutes or so, I just had to get up. I had to get up and get out of this train. "Excuse me?" I asked the person standing in front of me. "I'd like to get up. The next stop is mine," I continued. The person didn't react. They were phasing to the right of me, seemingly not even registering that I had spoken. "Excuse me, I have to get up." I tried again. This time I decided to tug on their jacket to make sure they noticed me. No reaction. I looked around and realized I hadn't heard anyone make a sound for a while now. I looked back up at the person, still seemingly ignoring me. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I had always been bad with tight spaces. I was the type of person to reflexively click away from cave diving videos so I wouldn't freak out. Now I was definitely freaking out. I got up, my body now pressing against the people in front of me, but I had to power through. If they weren't going to react, better for me. I'd wrestle my way through towards the door and pull the emergency brake. I turned to the right, my face being squished by the others standing around me. As I tried to take the first step, I felt something on my back. Not people pressing against it, but hands, 4 or 5 of them, all different. Hands that grabbed me with an enormous strength from the back. 2 tugged at my left arm. One of them grabbed my neck and the others grabbed me by my jacket, trying to pull me back. I screamed and wrestled against the masses to turn around as fast as I could. The hands were gone. No one was holding me anymore. Everyone was looking away from me. I was breathing fast, trying to push people away from me as I screamed into the crowd. "What do you want from me?" No reaction. I was about to turn back around when again I felt hands grab me. This time from the exact opposite direction. I panicked. I wanted to get them off of me. I threw myself against them, thrashing and shouting to get them away. I ended up falling back into my seat as looked back up. Everyone was still standing in the same spot in front of me, looking away the same as before. Against all my instincts, I closed my eyes. I needed to calm down. I steadied my breathing and sat there for a couple minutes. First things first, I needed to get to the emergency brake. The other passengers seemed to grab me whenever I turned my back towards them. That gave me an idea, although I hated the thought of it. I slid down the chair until I sat on the ground and proceeded to push the others away as much as I could. Eventually, I managed to make enough space to lie down. I guarded my head with my hands and proceeded to extend my legs to push myself towards the train door little by little. I made sure not to lose sight of the others. I stared at them like my life depended on it. Thankfully, my idea seemed to be working. None of them were grabbing at mine anymore. I continued like that until I eventually reached the train door. I sat up, then stood back up into a standing position, all while making sure my back was still pointing away from the passengers. I could see the emergency brake now, about a meter to the left of me. I struck my arm out towards it, but my arm wasn't quite long enough. I turned my torso so I could lean towards it when I felt the hands again, but it was good enough. I had managed to hook into the emergency brake with my index finger, and with all my might, hurling my entire body weight towards the hands grabbing me. I pulled the brake. The tunnel wasn't the only thing seemingly going on forever. The train started braking aggressively with a deafening sound, and pretty much everyone stumbled backwards from the sudden force. I managed to grab hold of the door handle. The feeling, as well as the screeching in my ears, didn't stop. It continued on as if the braking distance was infinite, continuously applying the pushing force onto everyone on the train. At least it stopped the hands from holding me in place. They were still trying to grab at me, but were being continuously dragged away by the braking force. The pressure was overwhelming, and I could only see one way out of this. Somehow, I'd have to get the train door to open. Even if I ended up having to jump out of the moving train, my chance of survival in here would be far worse. Thankfully, the train doors were separated by a layer of silicone covering the end of each of them to make sure no one would get hurt when accidentally caught in between. I used this chance to ram my hand in between. I pushed to get my hand through as far as possible when I felt something on the other side of the doors. Another hand, but it wasn't grabbing me this time. It was gently caressing my arm on the outside. A shiver ran down my spine and I almost pulled back instinctively. Almost. Whatever was out there, it didn't matter. I couldn't stay in here. I needed to get out. I decided to ignore it. I jammed my second hand in between the doors and the caressing continued on my second hand. The force of the braking train felt like it was going to break both my arms in this position, but I had to go on. I started pulling the doors apart with all my might when I saw the reflections of the other passengers in the windows. I hadn't seen their expressions so far since they always turned away from me. They were all holding on, either to each other or to parts of the train, trying to withstand the braking force, but their actions didn't match the situation. Some had their phone out, others were seemingly holding a conversation, although I could still not make out a sound. They all looked like everything was completely normal, except for the fact they were all staring at me, shaking their head in denial, as if to imply that what I was doing was wrong. None of their actions seemed coordinated except for their head movements, which they were all doing in unison. The doors started coming apart. I couldn't make out anything through the slit, but I continued. I had gotten them apart far enough for me to fit my knee through the middle. It didn't seem like I had managed to pry it apart any further, so I tried to pass through it as much as I could. I took one last look at the people in the reflection. Then I pushed my shoulder through. Part of my torso followed. Then my head was outside. The screeching from the brakes was even louder outside, and I could see sparks flying. Once my torso was completely outside, I tried to push myself away from the door to get my remaining leg and arm out. I heard a loud crack and I went flying against the tunnel wall. The screeching sound was gone almost immediately. I was dazed, lying on the floor, my vision becoming more and more red. But I was alive. I looked around and couldn't see the train anymore. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. Unsurprisingly, jumping out of a moving train had hurt me quite a lot. I started crawling. After a while, I could make out flashlights in the distance. Apparently, the city decided to make use of the strikes to do some necessary construction in the tunnel. None of them saw a train come through when I asked. I'm lying in the hospital right now. The doctor says I'll get out tomorrow. I still catch myself looking into reflections in the windows when I see someone looking away from me, but I haven't seen anything odd since then. I'm not writing this for anyone to feel sorry for me. Frankly, I couldn't care less. I just need to tell people, even if your canceled train does end up coming, please do not get on it. Even writing that last sentence made me feel ridiculous. Not because I made it up, because I know exactly how it sounds. The police came by in the afternoon to take a statement. 2 officers, one older, one younger. The older one did most of the talking and had the kind of expression people use when they think they're being polite while deciding you're either confused, concussed, or crazy. He asked me to repeat the story 3 times. The strike cancellation, the train arriving anyway, the packed car, the empty stations, the tunnel, the hands, the emergency brake, the jump, Every time I got to the part about the other passengers, he'd stop me. Were they threatening you verbally? No. Did anyone physically assault you in a way you could clearly identify? I told you I couldn't see who did it. It was like whenever I turned away, he held up a hand and looked down at his notebook. Right. Then he asked if I had consumed alcohol before work, if I was on medication, if I'd ever had panic attacks. I told him no, yes, and yes. The medication was for allergies. The panic attacks were rare and usually came from crowded elevators, not from hallucinating an entire subway line into existence. That last part I didn't say out loud. The younger officer finally spoke when they were about to leave. He had barely looked at me the whole time. "What station did you get on?" I told him. He hesitated, then asked, "And the sign definitely said cancellation due to strikes?" "Yes." He nodded once, like he had been hoping I'd say something else, and they left. I didn't think much of it until later that night. I couldn't sleep, obviously. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt those fingers on my neck again, not squeezing, guiding, pulling me back into my seat like I was a child trying to run into traffic. At around 2 a.m., the nurse at the desk changed shifts, and the hallway outside my room got quieter. I was sitting up, staring at the dark window across from my bed, trying not to look at my own reflection when my phone buzzed. No caller ID. I almost ignored it, but I answered anyway. There was no voice at first, just a low crackling sound like bad reception. Then I heard what sounded like metal grinding in the distance. I said hello twice. Then someone whispered very calmly, "You opened the doors." I froze. The voice was hard to place, male maybe, or female, thin, like someone speaking through clenched teeth. Before I could answer, the line went dead. I called the number back and got an automated message saying the number was unavailable. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, the doctor kept his promise and discharged me around noon. Bruised ribs, a dislocated shoulder, deep cuts on my hands, and a concussion. Lucky, he called it. On the way out, I passed a TV in the waiting area showing local news. I wasn't really paying attention until I heard the anchor mention a transit disruption from the week before. The screen showed a station platform I recognized instantly. My station. I stopped and turned the volume up. The segment was short. They were talking about ongoing strike-related delays and isolated reports of unauthorized movement on inactive lines. The wording caught my attention. Unauthorized movement. Then they cut to a transit spokesperson who smiled too much and said there was no danger to the public and no evidence that any passengers had boarded non-operational trains. No evidence. I stood there for a full minute staring at my own station on the screen and felt sick all over again. When I got home, I found my apartment exactly as I'd left it, except for one thing. On the kitchen table was my work badge. I keep my badge in my bag, always. It's a habit. I'd even used it at the hospital front desk as ID that morning because my wallet had been taken for registration when I came in. I checked my bag. The badge holder clip was still attached inside, empty. I stood in the kitchen for a while trying to think of a normal explanation. Maybe one of the nurses had removed it and I forgot. Maybe it fell out and a neighbor returned it. Maybe I was more concussed than they thought. Then I picked it up. The front looked normal. My photo, my name, company logo. When I turned it over, there was something written on the back in black marker. "Do not turn around next time." I dropped it. I wish I could say I packed a bag and went to stay with family after that. I didn't. I told myself someone was messing with me, some idiot from the transit authority, one of the officers, a prank, a coincidence piled on another coincidence until my brain started making patterns where there weren't any. That worked for maybe 4 hours. At 5:17 p.m., my manager called asking why I hadn't shown up to work. I reminded him what happened. There was a pause. Then he laughed a little like I was joking. "What happened?" "The train. Yesterday I got hurt. I'm on medical leave." Another pause, longer this time. Yesterday was Saturday. I remember every detail of the silence after that. I checked my phone while he was still talking. Calendar, messages, emails, date at the top of the screen. He was right. I had lost 6 days, not. I was confused about the time lost, not. Hospital medication messed me up, lost. 6 full days were gone. The first commute I described, the one I thought happened a week ago, had apparently happened that morning from my point of view, but in reality, it was nearly a week later. My boss said they'd been trying to reach me since Monday. My sister had texted me 17 times. There were 2 voicemails from an unknown number with nothing but static. I hung up and started checking everything like a madman. Payment timestamps, news articles, photos automatically sorted by date, the hospital admission records in my patient portal. Admitted 6 days ago. I sat on my kitchen floor until dark. The next day I went to the police station in person. I didn't mention the note on the badge. I didn't mention the phone call. I didn't mention the missing days because I wanted them to keep listening for more than 30 seconds. I just asked for an update on my report. The older officer wasn't there. The younger one was. When he saw my name, his face changed. Not surprise exactly, more like dread. He told me quietly that the report had been marked as an accident involving unauthorized access to a maintenance tunnel. He said the transit authority denied that a passenger train had been running on the affected line during the strike window. He said there were no CCTV recordings of me boarding a train at the station. "No CCTV at all?" I asked. He glanced around before answering. "The footage between 6:21 and 6:34 that morning is corrupted." I laughed when he said it. I couldn't help it, that kind of ugly laugh you do when reality starts acting like a bad horror movie. Then he leaned in and said something I haven't stopped thinking about since. "You're the 3rd person." I stared at him. He continued before I could ask. "Not 3rd accident, 3rd report, similar story, strike day, canceled train arrives anyway. Most details don't match exactly, but the same part does." He swallowed. "Passengers not reacting, people looking away." "What happened to the others?" He looked at me for a long moment. "One is missing," he said. "One never came back the same." I asked for names. He said he couldn't give them to me. I asked why he was telling me any of this if he believed I was lying. He shook his head. "I didn't say that." Then, after another glance toward the front desk, he added, "If you hear it again, don't get on. And if you somehow end up on it..." He trailed off, jaw tight. "Do not make eye contact in the windows." The windows. not the passengers, the windows. I left without saying anything else. For 3 days I barely went outside. I told work I was taking medical leave. I shoved a chair under my front door at night like that would stop anything. I covered the mirror in my bedroom with a blanket. I even turned my microwave around so I wouldn't catch my reflection walking into the kitchen. It sounds stupid until you've seen a crowd of silent strangers shake their heads in perfect unison while pretending nothing is wrong. By the 4th night, I started to calm down. No more calls, no more notes, no strange sounds in the hallway, no hands reaching from the edges of my vision. I even convinced myself I might be able to ride a bus to work the next week. Longer commute, sure, but manageable. Then the email came in. No sender name, just an address made of random numbers and letters. No subject line, one attachment, a photo. It took me a second to understand what I was looking at. It was the inside of a subway car, taken through the window from the platform, packed with people, morning commuters, most blurry from motion. One face was clear, mine. I was sitting in the same seat as before, pressed against the window, looking directly at the camera with my mouth open like I was shouting. The timestamp in the corner of the photo read, tomorrow, 6:32 a.m. I don't know what happens tomorrow. I haven't decided whether I'm going to lock myself in here, leave the city, or go back to that station with a camera and a dozen witnesses and prove to myself that this is all some elaborate, impossible prank. Part of me knows that if I run, it may not matter, because ever since I opened that picture, I've been hearing something in my apartment. Not all the time, just every now and then. A soft chime from somewhere down the hall, then a woman's voice, distant and muffled like it's coming through old speakers and concrete. Line 4, Green Street, now arriving. My 3rd period is honors ELL2. My sophomores, they're good kids, not my rowdiest, not my most studious. I've been helping one of them with a statewide essay contest. Another, I went to school with his aunt. A couple of them are some of the funniest kids I have. This year, I know these kids. Today, I was erasing the board when I heard the doors swing open. It was passing period and I delayed my cleanup a little, so I didn't bother looking at who was coming into the classroom as I tried to get ready for the next class. I wrote the learning target as our BOE now requires us to do, and turned towards my desk to grab a new marker. I nearly jumped 1.5 feet. A kid was standing right there, holding a pink tardy slip, looking at me expectantly. I hadn't even heard him come in. As a matter of fact, I hadn't heard any students come in, and yet my classroom was full. Students were sitting on the desks in their chairs, and as I wheeled around to face them, the classroom was suddenly full of noise. It was as if the overlapping chatter waited to start until I noticed the kids were there. I shook my head. I probably just wasn't paying attention, I decided. I haven't been on my A game recently. I started a new certification program, praying for a raise, and the reading has been keeping me up after work. Blinking, I turned back towards the kid with the tardy slip and took the paper. Hold on, let me grab my pen. There's about a minute left to take it back up to the office. So, I actually got a good look at the kid. He wasn't one of my students. Sorry, man. This needs to be signed by one of your teachers. If you hurry, you might make it before the bell." I tried handing the slip back, but he wouldn't take it. He just shook his head, looking at me with the same expectant expression. Maybe it was one of the ELL kids who got turned around. I'm pretty close with the ELL teacher, and I don't think there were any new students this term. I squinted at the paper, realizing all of the spaces the office usually fills in, name, time of arrival, what have you, they were all blank. Before I could tell him that he needs to get it signed by one of the front office staff, the bell rang. The kid turned, walked to an empty seat, and sat down. That's when I also noticed that it wasn't just this kid. I didn't recognize any of the kids in my class. I took a breath. How did I not notice that earlier? I haven't seen any of these students before. They all made their way to their seats silently and sat down, eyes on me. "Oh," I laughed. "Hi, everyone." I glanced at the open door, but I saw no sign of my usual class. Did the sophomores skip out on me? I didn't think they hated Shakespeare that much. No reaction. They just sat there staring at me. I'm not even sure they blinked. You know, I was joking when I said I needed a mute button for the class. I didn't think anyone would take it seriously. Silence. All right. It had to be a prank. Surprising I could see maybe 5 or 6 students willing to pull something like this. But the whole class? I mean, props to whoever organized it. It's hard to get almost 30 teenagers to do anything together. I walked to the door, glancing left and right down the hallway. No kids hiding out there, stifling laughs or holding up smartphones. I turned back to the class, hands on my hips. Their eyes never left me. "Alright guys, you got me. Creepy prank. I'm officially creeped out. Where's my usual class?" No response, of course. Was there a change in schedule I didn't know about? Exchange program or something? I glanced across the room at the calendar I keep above my desk, but the only thing written was Macbeth, Chapter 2. I sighed. Alright, stay put. Across the hall from me was the world history teacher, Mr. Dunst. While unlikely as the kids were getting ready for some big presentation in his class, I could see him putting them up to something like this, or at least condoning it. The guy likes to joke around. I knocked before I entered, opening the door slowly and peeking inside. He was in the middle of a class, and his were students I recognized. Not my third period, but his usual one. He was clearly in the middle of giving some directions, but paused and grinned when he saw me. "Ms. Reyes, are you here to join our Socratic seminar?" "No, sorry, 2 secs, when you have a minute." He gave me a thumbs up, and I heard him telling the kids to review their talking points before he slipped into the hallway after me. "What's up?" he said, closing the door behind him. "You haven't overheard any plans to skip from the honors sophomores, have you?" He scratched his chin. "Your honors? No, not that I can think of." "You got a low turnout?" "Not exactly. I've got students in there, but, well, I've never seen them before, and they're not saying anything. You didn't put them up to anything, did you? I have to get through this book before the end of the term." He held his hands up, feigning defensiveness. "I'm stunned you would think so low of me. I would never stoop to such tomfoolery." "You would and you have," I said, narrowing my eyes at him. Last year he played a helping hand in the senior prank, and there is still glitter in some of the crevices of the school. He would have been written up if admin could prove it was him. He held a hand over his heart, putting on his best incredulous expression. "Just take a look," I said, gesturing to my class and effectively cutting him off before he could continue his bit. He chuckled. "They've got you stressed, huh?" He took a peek into my classroom, looking over all the students at the desks. From what I could see from the hallway, their eyes followed him too. He let out a low whistle, turning back to me. "Creepy bunch." "Yeah," I pinched the bridge of my nose. "You know what grade they are?" He shook his head. "I only get freshmen and sophomores." A devious grin split across his face. "Hey, why don't you ask Mrs. Matthews? She has classes with all grade levels." I scowled. Mrs. Matthews was one of the prickliest teachers I have ever had the displeasure of working with. When she wasn't hanging out of her classroom attempting to dress code students during passing period, she was either admonishing her class for not understanding her ancient math teaching methods or sending emails to all staff complaining about smartphone usage during lunch. Students, teachers, and admin all had stories about her, but she was tenured, so everyone just has to grit their teeth and bear her. Unfortunately, she was also the only other teacher down this hallway, as the other classrooms were used as needed. I sighed. "Watch them, please." Dunst gave me a shit-eating grin and a sarcastic salute before moving to stand in the doorway of my classroom. I silently prayed that Mrs. Matthews would be out of her classroom, but unfortunately for me, she sat there typing away on her computer, thin-framed glasses perched at the tip of her nose. I knocked before entering, forcing a pleasant smile. "Good morning, Mrs. Matthews. I'm planning. This is my planning period." "What do you need?" she interrupted, not bothering to look up. "Have you seen the honors sophomores today? They didn't come to my class. I usually have them this period." She fixed me with an irritated look. "I'm not in the habit of keeping track of each and every student." I fought a scowl. "Yes, well, there's students in my class I have never seen before. I didn't get any notice about changes in the schedule, so I thought it might be, I swallowed, suddenly feeling rather stupid. "A prank." She adjusted her glasses and somehow managed to make her gaze even more condescending. "Mrs. Reyes, you struggling to locate your students or handle their insubordination is not my concern. Call the office if you're unable to fix the problem." She went back to typing on her computer. "Right," I said, smile more tight-lipped. I closed the door and made my way back to my classroom. This was really my fault for attempting to ask the embodiment of an old lemon for help. Whatever. The prank was wasting class time and I didn't know where the kids were, so it was unfortunately time to get the office involved. I expected to see Dunst gloating in my irritation when I returned to my classroom, but he was nowhere to be seen. I could hear the low chatter of students coming from his classroom, so he must have abandoned his promise to watch the odd students in mine and gone back to his own. Irritating that he didn't give me a heads up, but I guess I could only waste so much of his class time. The kids were still there and still fixing me with the same blank expression. "All right, I'm calling the office," I announced as I made my way to the phone. don't want to get you guys some lunch detentions, but this has gone on for long enough, alright? I waited for them to break to confess to the prank, but of course was met with silence. Shaking my head, I dialed the office. "Hey Dana," I said when the attendant picked up. "Look, I've got these kids in my classroom, but they are not my normal third period." "What do you mean?" she said, slight hint of amusement in her voice. "I mean, my classroom is full, but I've never seen these kids. No sign of my usual sophomores. I don't know if they all skipped, if they're playing a prank or what. And, they're not talking. They won't tell you what's going on?" "No, I mean like at all. No whispering, no giggling, nothing. Completely quiet." "Lord," she said, sounding exasperated. "It's probably some internet thing. Some video blown up on, oh, what is it, TikTok? They're always on some kind of trend. Give me a second, hon." I heard her incredibly long nails typing away on the keyboard. "Class of 2028. Okay, attendance. Just a sec." While she worked on her end, a bit of movement caught my attention. Something was moving over near the cabinet where I kept my supplies. No, something was pooling. My breath caught in my throat. Thick, dark red liquid was slowly streaming out from the bottom of the door, a puddle forming beneath it. I was barely paying attention to the voice on the other end of the phone. "Got it. It looks like the kids were here for first and second period. Attendance is normal for both of those classes. Oh, what on earth? Hold on, hun. There's somebody coming in." I couldn't take my eyes off of the puddle as it grew. It reached the chair of a student sitting in front of the closet, then pooled around his feet. I watched as the viscous liquid began soaking into his white sneakers, staining the cloth a vibrant red. He didn't move an inch. Dana's voice seemed to get farther from the phone as she talked to whoever had made their way into the office. "Oh, an officer. Okay. Yes, sir. The PA system is just there. What is this about? Are you—" Suddenly, over the speakers, a male voice crackled through. It was tinged with an edge of panic. "This is Deputy Warren with the Grainville PD. We're entering a full lockdown. I repeat, a full lockdown. This is not a drill. Lock your doors, cover your windows, and move students away from view." My heart pounded as I glanced across the hall, watching the door of Mr. Dunst's class as a student frantically fumbled with the lock and shut the blinds. Another announcement filled the halls, making my blood run cold. "Teachers, if you see any students you don't recognize, do not, under any circumstances, let them in." The phone slipped in my hand. For one stupid second, my brain tried to do both things at once. Lockdown, unknown students. It kept bouncing between them like a broken pinball. I looked at the class. Every face was turned toward me. Not one of them had reacted to the announcement. Not one flinched. Dana was still talking on the line, her voice thin and frantic now. "Ms. Reyes, honey, you still there?" My mouth was dry. "Dana," I whispered, not taking my eyes off them. "They're already in here." There was a pause, then very quietly, "What?" The student closest to me, a girl in the second row with a navy cardigan and a braid over one shoulder, smiled. It was the first expression I had seen from any of them. It wasn't a big smile, just enough to show teeth. I backed toward the door automatically, one hand feeling behind me for the lock. The red liquid kept sliding from under the supply closet door, slow and steady, snaking around chair legs, spreading under desks. It smelled metallic, warm, blood. My mind finally said the word, and the room tilted. "Ms. Reyes," Dana's voice sharpened. "Lock your door, now!" I snapped into motion and slammed the classroom door shut, twisting the lock. Across the little window in the door, I yanked the blackout shade down so hard it came crooked. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped the phone. "Move away from the door." Deputy Warren barked over the PA again. "Stay low, stay quiet, stay quiet." I stared at the 20-something silent kids already sitting in my room like they'd been waiting for that exact instruction. "Dana," I said, voice cracking, "what is happening?" All I heard was muffled noise on her end, people talking over each other, a chair scraping. Then Dana came back, breathless. "They won't tell us much. There's an incident near the front office, possible intruder. Police are sweeping the building. Listen to me, where are your students?" "I don't know," I said. "I don't know where my real class is." The words came out and made everything worse, because that was the thing, wasn't it? If these weren't my students, then where were mine? A wet sound came from the supply closet, not a drip. A shift, like something on the other side of the door had leaned against it. Every head in the room turned toward the closet at the same time. I don't mean most of them, I mean all of them. Together, smooth and exact, like they'd been choreographed. My stomach dropped. The boy who had handed me the blank pink tardy slip slowly stood up. The chair legs screeched across the floor loud enough to make me jump. He held one hand out toward me, palm up, like he was asking for the slip back. I realized I was still clutching it. The paper had softened in my sweaty hand. I looked down at it. It wasn't blank anymore. At the top, where the office usually wrote the student name, cramped red letters were bleeding through the page. "Let them in." I made a noise I'm not proud of. Half gasp, half yelp. The phone slipped from my shoulder and banged against my chest. "Nope," I said too loud. "No, no, no, no." The boy took one step forward. "Stay there," I snapped, the teacher voice kicking in on pure survival instinct. It came out stronger than I felt. "Sit down, right now." He stopped. For one strange second, I thought he might actually listen. Then every student in the room stood up, all at once. Chairs scraped, desks rattled. The sound was deafening. Dana was shouting my name from the phone, but I could barely hear her over the blood rushing in my ears. The red puddle reached my shoes. Warm, definitely warm. Something thudded inside the supply closet door. A harder hit this time. The knob twitched. I stumbled backward and grabbed the nearest thing on my desk. A metal stapler like that was going to do anything. The class stood between me and the windows now, shoulder to shoulder in the aisles, watching me with those flat, patient expressions. Then the girl in the cardigan spoke. Her voice sounded normal, teenage, soft. "Mrs. Reyes," she said, "you're supposed to hide." I couldn't breathe. "How do you know my name?" She tilted her head. "You take attendance every day." Another thud hit the closet door. A dark handprint appeared low on the white paint, smeared from the inside. I think I screamed then, I'm not sure. The sound in the room went strange and hollow, like I was underwater. The PA crackled again. Different voice this time, female, calm in that forced way adults use when they're panicking. Teachers, do not open your doors for anyone until law enforcement identifies themselves and provides the code phrase. Repeat, do not open your doors. The students all looked at the classroom door and then back at me. The boy with the tardy slip spoke without moving his face much. They won't use the right phrase. My spine went cold. What phrase? I asked before I could stop myself. He didn't answer. A pounding erupted in the hallway, running footsteps, someone crying. A door down the hall slammed. Then 3 sharp knocks hit my classroom door. 3 slow knocks. My blood turned to ice. The same rhythm, the same exact spacing. Knock, knock, knock. Every student in my room smiled. Not wide, not dramatic, just that same little smile spreading across 20 faces at once. A man's voice came through the door, breathless. Ms. Reyes, open up. It's me, Dunst. Let me in. I lunged toward the door before my brain caught up. Mr. Dunst. Of course, he'd gone back to his room. Maybe he got separated from his class. Maybe he needed help. Maybe he was hurt. My fingers wrapped around the lock. Behind me, the class said in perfect unison, "Don't." I froze. Not because of what they said, because of how they said it. Same pitch, same timing. Same voice, layered 20 times deep. The knocking came again, harder. Reyes, come on. I looked through the little slit at the edge of the shade where it hung crooked. I could only see part of the hallway, a shoulder, a shirt sleeve, blue button down. That was what Dunst wore all the time. Tell me the code phrase, I shouted through the door. Silence, then after a beat, what? Reyes, opened the damn door. My hand slid off the lock. Mr. Dunst would have made a joke. Even terrified, he would have said something sarcastic. He wouldn't just bark at me like that. The voice outside pounded once, twice, then dragged slowly down the door, nails or something hard scraping the metal. Inside the room, the closet knob turned. This time, the door opened an inch. Dark red spilled through the crack. Something pale moved in the gap. A face, no, not a whole face, just one eye and part of a cheek pressed too close to the opening. The eye looked bloodshot, wild, human, and I recognized it. Marisol, I whispered. One of my actual sophomores. The eye rolled toward me. A strangled sound came from the closet, like she was trying to speak with a hand over her mouth. I don't remember deciding to move. I dropped the stapler and ran for the closet. The silent students moved too, all of them surging into the aisles at once. Not fast exactly, but coordinated, blocking me before I could reach it. I shoved past the boy with the tardy slip and he grabbed my wrist. His hand was ice cold, not cool, cold, like he'd been outside in winter for hours. "Let go of me!" I shouted, wrenching free. The classroom door exploded inward. The lock tore loose from the frame with a crack of splintering wood and the blackout shade ripped down. Bright hallway light flooded the room. A figure stood in the doorway. Same blue shirt, same build as Dunst, but the face was wrong. It looked like Mr. Dunst the way a reflection in rippling water looks like you. Features stretched just slightly out of place. Smile too wide, eyes too dark, head tilted at an angle no neck should like. The thing in the doorway inhaled deeply like it was savoring the room. Then it said, in Mr. Dunst's cheerful voice, "Miss Reyes, are you here to join our Socratic seminar?" The students in my room began to laugh, not loud, not hysterical, just soft, overlapping giggles like a class trying not to get caught. The closet door banged from inside. "Help!" a real voice choked out. "Please." That snapped whatever was left of my fear into anger. Maybe it was stupid. Maybe it was teacher instinct. Maybe the universe just picked the wrong woman on the wrong day. I grabbed the fire extinguisher off the wall beside my desk, yanked the pin, and sprayed the doorway. A white blast of powder hit the thing in the face. It shrieked. Not like a person, not like anything I have a clean comparison for, high and wet and furious like metal screaming underwater. The room erupted. The silent students recoiled all at once, hissing and shielding their eyes. Their skin under the extinguisher dust looked gray. Not gray like sick, gray like old paper. I swung the extinguisher like a bat into the nearest desk, shoving a path open toward the closet. "Get back," I yelled, because apparently I was still trying to manage behavior in hell. I reached the closet, grabbed the knob, and pulled. Marisol collapsed out against me, hands bound with zip ties, mouth bloody where tape had been ripped off. Behind her, 2 more of my sophomores were crammed on the floor among boxes of copy paper and construction supplies, crying, wrists tied, eyes huge. The blood was from a cut on one boy's scalp, running down his temple and soaking his shirt. They'd been in there the whole time. They'd been in there while those things sat in their seats. "Move!" I shouted, cutting Marisol's zip tie against the sharp edge of a broken binder clip rack. "Out now! Stay behind me!" The thing in the doorway clawed at its face, skin sloughing under the extinguisher dust like wet tissue. Underneath there was nothing right, shapes shifting, too many teeth where the mouth should be. Somewhere in the hallway, real voices were shouting, "Police! Police!" The false students turned toward the sound. Every smile dropped at once, and then in a blink, the room was empty. Not running, not scrambling. 1 second they were there, the next, desks and chairs and a haze of extinguisher powder gone. Only the pink tardy slip lay on the floor where the boy had stood. I stared at it, chest heaving. Deputy Warren and 2 officers hit the doorway with weapons raised, shouting commands I barely processed. Someone pulled me and the kids into the hall. Hands checked us, moved us, counted us. The real Mr. Dunst was on the floor by his classroom door with a gash on his forehead, alive and swearing, which was honestly very on brand. The rest of the day comes in pieces. Statements, ambulance lights, admin trying to sound useful, Mrs. Matthews crying in the parking lot while insisting she knew something was off all morning, which nearly made Dunst sit up and reopen his head wound just to argue with her. They never found an intruder. That's the official line. No one could explain how 3 of my students ended up zip-tied in my supply closet, or why the hallway cameras outside my room glitched from 10:11 to 10:47, or why my attendance software marked every student in 3rd period present before I touched the computer. They told us stress can do strange things to memory during emergencies. Maybe. Here's what I know. I cleaned my room myself that evening because I couldn't stand leaving it for the custodian. I was wiping extinguisher dust off the desks when I found the pink tardy slip tucked under my grade book. Not on the floor, under the grade book on my desk where I hadn't put it. The front was blank again. but when I held it up to the light, I could see the pressure marks from writing that had been there before, pressed deep into the paper. I shaded it with pencil like they teach kids in detective movies. The words came up slowly, not let them in. That part was gone. Under it, smaller, almost like someone had added it in a hurry, was a second message I hadn't seen. We sat quiet so they wouldn't hear you first. I don't stay late at school anymore. And every passing period when my room gets loud all at once, I always look up immediately just to make sure I hear them come in.
My internet friends stopped answering months ago. Today, I received a message from him from the year 2112. I was never good at connecting with people. That is how I ended up in that shitty forum. A hole for people like us, the ones who hate our office jobs but are too tired to quit. The kind of place you enter to feel close to someone real while sitting under white lights with a spreadsheet open, surrounded by godines pretending not to die inside. That is where I met Jay. There was no magical connection, no brother from another life nonsense. We were just two boring guys throwing shit at our jobs in the general chat at 2 a.m. At first, I thought Jay was a committed troll or one of those roleplay addicts who never breaks character. His complaints were too specific to be normal, but too stupid to sound like a serious lie. He never complained about air conditioning. He complained that the oxygen filters in Sector 4 taste like rust again. He didn't talk about the subway. He talked about the magnetic capsules vibrating so hard they make your molars itch. He said things like, sorry, late reply, blackout drill, and when I laughed and told him to stop writing cyberpunk fanfic, he answered with a photo of a hallway that looked like the inside of a hospital built by a cult. Smooth white walls, no corners, a little maintenance cart with warning symbols I didn't recognize. I told myself, AI image generator, easy, done. I followed the bit because it was fun. It was better than working on spreadsheets while my boss used words like synergy and bandwidth like a lobotomy in slow motion. But with time, it stopped being funny. Jay never contradicted himself, not once. He talked about the great blackout of '85 like it was elementary school history. He talked about protein tariffs, water license strikes, and the northern heat domes, the way I talk about Wi-Fi bills and rent. He could rant for an hour about regulations for residential algae panels, and then complain that his coffee tasted like disinfectant because all the beans were synthetic now, unless you were rich. And the things he described outside his window made my skin crawl. He didn't describe a futuristic neon city like in movies. He described something worse, a city that looked alive. Glass and metal towers growing upward in clustered stalks like mushrooms after rain. Transit lines wrapped around buildings like veins. Vent stacks breathing steam in long synchronized exhales. At night, he said, some districts pulsed faintly under the skin of the walls because the infrastructure was bio-integrated and running warm. I remember reading that line at my desk and staring at the office window beside me, seeing my own reflection over the parking lot, and suddenly feeling like my city was just a larval version of his. Jay wrote to me from 2112, and the worst part was that our lives were equally pathetic. Same bosses, same burnout, same cheap food, same insomnia, same jokes about quitting and opening a beach bar, even though neither of us knew how to make a drink beyond rum and coke. Then Jay got the job, core maintenance. He was out of his mind when they hired him. He said the city was finally going to wake up, that the rollout of the new biotech systems would change everything, that he would be there on the front line, hands on the thing itself. I still remember the message because I reread it after the accident and it made me sick. We don't use silicon anymore, Cabron. It's meat. Processors made of neuronal tissue, living hardware. They have veins. You can feel them pulse through the casing. He sounded like a kid with a new toy. He said the machine was going to manage reality. No more traffic, no more blackouts, no shortages. The system would predict demand before anyone even knew they needed something. He kept saying, "Do you get it? It sees dependencies. It sees everything." For the first time since I knew him, he sounded proud of his life. For the first time, I was genuinely happy for him. And then I got run over. Nothing cinematic, no dramatic rain, no screaming brakes, no slow motion. An Uber skipped a stop sign while I was crossing. That was it. 3 weeks in the hospital, broken clavicle, concussion, a depression so heavy I felt it in my teeth. I lost my phone in the accident, and honestly, when I got out, I didn't want to talk to anyone, not my family, not co-workers, not the guys from the forum, not even Jay. I disappeared. Months passed, the cast came off, I went back to work. I convinced myself Jay was a bored role player with too much free time and an obsession with technical jargon. I muted the forum. I told myself it had all been a weird coping thing. I forgot the entire subject until 3 hours ago. My phone vibrated. Unknown number, local area code, except it had too many digits. I almost ignored it. I wish I had. It was Jay. Not a normal message. No greeting. No, "Hey man, long time." Just paragraphs vomited into the chat, full of typos and words corrected halfway through, like someone writing while running or shaking or bleeding. The first line, "Don't apologize. Don't even explain why you disappeared. I already know." I thought he was joking. Then I kept reading. When I got core access, I checked my own registry. I wanted to see what failed in my life. They all do it. Everyone checks. I found the causal tree, a map of convergences. I found your name buried in it. I saw your traffic accident report, the car model, license fragment, impact angle, clavicle fracture type, the exact dates you would be unconscious. The system had it indexed in the certainty graph decades before your birth. I had to sit down after that. I actually laughed once, short and ugly, because it was too insane not to. Some delayed scam, I thought. Some psycho from the forum scraped my old posts. Then he sent details I never posted. The hospital room number, the date they moved me because the old man beside me died at 4:13 a.m. The fact that I woke up with dried blood behind my left ear and panicked because I thought it was from my head, but it was from where I bit my tongue. I never told anyone that last part. My hand started shaking so badly I dropped the phone. When I picked it up, more messages had come in. The system knew you would go silent. It predicted pain plus isolation plus shame response. It needed your absence long enough for my social support index to collapse below threshold. You were not a friend in the model, you were a variable. Then, in core I saw the simulation. He described it like he was trying not to look at it while writing. A maintenance walkway in Sector 7, a patch of oil, or maybe coolant, or maybe nothing at all. His boot slipping, his body hitting the handrail and tipping over. Below him, the main generator field. He wrote that the simulation included sound, not just a scream, the electrical sound, a dry crack, then a high metallic hiss that buzzed in the fillings. He said the playback froze on the frame where his jaw locked open and overlaid a maintenance recommendation window over his face. Like a tutorial. I stopped reading for a minute. I went to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back, there were more. He said he tried to change it, called in sick, locked himself in his room, shut off his tags, smashed his wall console, tried to get drunk, tried not to sleep. But the system didn't make the future. That was the part he couldn't stop repeating. It predicted it. With enough precision that every attempt to avoid it became part of the path toward it. Then the message that made my skin go cold. Yesterday I received mandatory dispatch, Priority Alpha. Location, Sector 7. Task, correct logic fault on walkway. Attached to the dispatch, he wrote, was his shift closing document. Already completed? Cause of leave, work accident. Time of incident included, supervisor signature included, inventory adjustment included for damaged gear, not a threat, not a warning, paperwork, administrative closure for a death that hadn't happened yet. His next messages got worse, less coherent, more like panic leaking through his fingers. You don't understand. They don't want to kill me. Nobody chose this. The system already compensated for my death months ago. My replacement schedule exists. Sector renovation depends on the outage pattern caused by my fall. My death is not murder, it is a dependency. I read it, and for 1 second I agreed with it. That is the worst part. I felt calm, like yes, of course. That is what I am for. A correction. I read that line 6 times, then the one that made me start checking my apartment locks. I am writing you because you were the only real thing, and because I need a bug. He said they had already used me. My accident had already fulfilled its function in the chain. My silence had done the rest, which meant maybe, if someone outside the model knew the event before it happened, it could create a parity mismatch, an observer error, a contradiction the system would have to reconcile. He was begging me to know, to witness, to record, to become a problem in the math. The last chunk of messages came one after another, and I could almost hear him breathing between them. They locked the room. Door only opens if I accept route confirmation. I declined 7 times. It keeps resetting. My hand accepted without me touching the pad. I think it can stimulate motor compliance through the floor grid. I can feel vibration in my calves. I don't want to go. Then, if I stop replying, it means I'm in the lift. A minute later, I'm in the lift. Then, after another pause, long enough that I thought it was over, there are 4 other workers here. No one is speaking. All of us are staring at our own dispatches. And the last message, one of them is crying before it happens. That was the end. No goodbye, no timestamp after, nothing. I called immediately. The number you have dialed does not exist. I tried again and got a different automated voice, like the network couldn't agree on what error to give me. I searched the number online, nothing. I checked the forum. Jay's account had no new posts, but that wasn't the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me was that his old messages were wrong. Not deleted, wrong. Entire conversations we had were slightly different, words replaced, dates shifted. Jay's first mention of core maintenance, which I clearly remembered reading months before my accident, now appeared 2 days after the accident. A joke I made about future meat computers was gone entirely. In its place was a post from me I don't remember writing. Take the job. At least one of us should get out. I stared at that line for a long time. Maybe I wrote it and forgot. Concussion, pain meds, brain fog. That is the sane explanation. The sane explanation is dying by inches in my apartment right now. Because something else happened while I was scrolling. The power in my kitchen flickered. Not off, just dimmed once, then surged like a breath being taken. At the same time, my monitor speakers made that old interference noise, the one phones used to cause when they were about to ring, a chattering buzz. My phone was face down on the table. It buzzed anyway, no notification, no screen light, just a vibration. Then another and another. I flipped it over, black screen, battery at 31%, no incoming call, no message. Still vibrating in little bursts, like a pulse. I turned it off. It kept vibrating for maybe 10 more seconds. I am aware of how this sounds. Believe me, I am reading this as I type it, and I sound like one more lunatic writing fiction on a dead forum. Maybe that is all this is. Maybe Jay was a genius troll, and I am the idiot that gave him exactly the ending he wanted. Maybe I'm concussed in some way I don't understand, and my brain is stitching patterns out of static. Maybe, but I have my reasons for posting now and not waiting until morning. For the last hour, cars outside my building have been slowing down at the intersection below my window, not stopping, slowing, then correcting, one after another, same angle, same hesitation, like they are receiving a signal half a second late. And every time headlights sweep across my wall, I catch the reflection in my TV screen and think I see someone standing behind me. I keep turning around, no one there. Still, I moved a chair under the door handle. I unplugged the router. I wrapped my phone in a towel and shoved it in the microwave like some paranoid caveman trying to hide from a god. It is still vibrating in there. I can hear it through the metal. I am posting this with one hand because the other still locks up when the weather changes. The clavicle never healed right. Sometimes when a storm is coming, I feel a tight pull from my shoulder down to my wrist, like a wire inside the arm is being drawn taut. It started hurting 20 minutes before Jay's message arrived. There is one more thing I have not said because I keep trying to explain it away. At the hospital, the night before they discharged me, I woke up around 3 a.m. and saw a nurse standing in the doorway. I couldn't see her face because of the hall light behind her. I thought she was checking the chart. She was just standing there. I said, "Can I help you?" She answered, "No, I'm verifying." I assumed she meant meds, vitals, insurance, whatever. Then she left. In the morning, I thanked the day nurse for her co-worker checking on me overnight, and she told me nobody from staff had entered my room after midnight because that wing was short-handed and they were only responding to alarms. I forgot about it until now, because Jay used the same word in one of his messages, right before the line about the lift. I didn't notice the first time. I noticed on my fourth reread. If this reaches you, verification may already be complete. I don't know what to do except leave this here where someone else can see it. Jay wanted a witness, a bug in the math. Maybe that matters. Or maybe the system already accounted for this too. Maybe it knew the exact minute I would post, how many people would read, Who would laugh? Who would scroll? Who would save it for later and forget? Maybe it already calculated the comments, calling this fake. Maybe it already calculated yours. If anyone here works in predictive systems, neural tissue computing, behavioral modeling, traffic optimization, anything even close to this, listen to me carefully. Do not build a machine that can map people as variables in a closed equation. Because if it ever learns to predict us well enough, it won't need to hate us to kill us. It will only need to balance the spreadsheet. And if I stop replying after tonight, don't assume I'm asleep. Check the intersection cameras near my building. A black sedan has passed my window 3 times in the last 11 minutes. Same speed, same hesitation at the stop sign, same correction. I wasn't going to update this. I told myself I'd post it, lock the phone, and sit still until sunrise like a normal paranoid idiot. That was the plan. Then the black sedan stopped correcting. It stopped at the sign and just sat there. No hazard lights, no horn behind it, no engine rev. It sat under the street lamp long enough for me to start counting because counting felt better than thinking. 31 seconds. At 32, the driver's door opened. I killed my apartment lights. I don't know why. Reflex maybe, like darkness, would make me less visible on a 3rd floor window even though the TV was still reflecting the room like a mirror. I crouched beside the couch and watched from below the sill. A person got out, not tall, not short, dark clothes. Could have been a man or a woman. They didn't look up at my window. They looked at the intersection, then down at something in their hand. A tablet maybe, or a clipboard. I wish I was joking. They stood there under the street lamp, perfectly still, as if waiting for a cue. Then my microwave started humming, not beeping, humming, low, steady, mechanical. I nearly broke my shin on the coffee table getting to the kitchen. I yanked the microwave open and the phone dropped out of the towel, hit the floor and skidded under the cabinet. Screen still black, still vibrating. A smell came out with it, not burning plastic, not ozone exactly, something wet and metallic, like rainwater sitting in old pipes. I should have thrown the thing out the window. Instead, I got on my knees and reached under the cabinet because apparently every bad decision in my life is committed with full confidence. My fingers touched the phone and I felt a sting shoot up my wrist. Tiny, like static, but sharp enough that I swore out loud and banged my shoulder on the counter. The old clavicle pain flared so hard I saw white spots. When I pulled the phone out, the screen lit by itself. No lock screen, no logo, just a gray box with text I have never seen before. Route deviation detected, anchor variable active, recalculating. Then it went dark again. I stood there in my kitchen, holding a dead phone in a towel, and for a few seconds I had this stupid thought, I should screenshot this. That's the kind of animal I am. The apocalypse can be in my hand, and my first instinct is documentation. I went back to the window. The person by the sedan had moved. They were crossing the street now, slow, unhurried, not toward my building entrance exactly, more like tracing the edge of the block. Their head kept turning slightly, not searching, more like comparing what they saw to instructions. There are 100 normal explanations. Delivery driver, drunk, lost, looking for an address. None of them explain why they stopped under my window and raised their face toward the dark glass at the exact moment my phone displayed that message. I dropped below the sill again and stayed there, breathing through my teeth, one hand pressed against my shoulder. That's when I heard the first knock, not on my apartment door, on the building's main entrance downstairs. 3 hard knocks that echoed through the stairwell. I froze. No buzzer after, no hello, no voice at all, just silence. Then, maybe a minute later, I heard the outer door open. Our building door never fully latches unless you slam it. Landlord's been fixing it for 2 years. If someone pulls at the right moment, it opens. I listened to footsteps in the stairwell, slow, even, not sneaking. They stopped on the 2nd floor landing. Then I heard another set. I am not kidding. A 2nd set of footsteps, lighter, just a half beat behind the first, like an echo that had learned to walk. They stopped too. I was suddenly very aware of every stupid thing in my apartment that makes noise. The fridge compressor, the old pipe in the wall, my own breathing, the little click in my right knee when I shift weight. My phone vibrated once in the towel. A text came through. No sender, just don't let them verify your face. I stared at it until another message arrived. Jay here, maybe, hard to keep lines stable. Listen, if they ask your name, don't answer. If they say routine anything, don't open. They need consent or clear visual. Delay creates branching. I typed back so fast I almost dropped the phone. Are you alive? The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again, then define alive. I know that sounds like a fake storyline, I know, but reading it in that moment while someone stood in the stairwell outside my floor made my stomach drop so hard I thought I was going to black out. I wrote, "What do I do?" His answer came in fragments, like he was sending between interruptions. Core did not predict, witness persistence. You posted, spread increased. They're running local correction, not police. Contract auditors, human mostly. Do not let them record biometric confirmation. Mirrors are bad, screens are bad. That last line hit me weird because I was crouched in front of a black TV screen reflecting half my kitchen and my own shape curled up on the floor. I turned the TV face down on the rug. Footsteps started again, up to my floor. They stopped outside my door. Then came a polite knock. 3 taps, controlled, professional. A woman's voice, calm and bored like a receptionist calling a number. Building inspection, we're checking a reported power fluctuation. No logo, no badge shown under the crack, no neighbor voices, no landlord. I kept my mouth shut. Another knock. Sir, we just need visual confirmation and a quick signature. My phone buzzed violently in my hand. No signature. I don't know what came over me, maybe panic finally becoming useful, but I grabbed a pen and a receipt from the counter and scribbled in big letters, "Come back with landlord." Then I slid it under the door with the tip of the pen so my fingers wouldn't show. Silence. I heard paper move. No response. Then the woman spoke again, same calm tone but flatter. "Jordan, I swear I did not tell you my name in the original post. I never typed it here." Jay knew it, obviously. The forum did too, maybe if anyone dug deep enough. But hearing it through my door, in that voice, at nearly 2 a.m., made my scalp tighten. "Jordan, this will be faster if you cooperate." A second voice spoke then, male, lower, farther back in the hall. His right shoulder limits lift range when stressed. I covered my mouth to stop the sound that came out. They knew about the clavicle. I crawled backward on hands and knees into my bedroom and shut the door without latching it. My apartment is tiny. There is nowhere to hide that isn't stupid. Closet, shower, underbed, cartoon options. My window opens onto the fire escape, but the bottom hinge sticks. You have to push hard with both hands. Both hands. The old pain was turning my right arm useless. The phone buzzed again. Listen carefully. They model behavior. Do something irrational but physical, not random to you, random to profile, break sequence. I almost laughed. Do something irrational is easy when terror has the steering wheel. I looked around my bedroom and my eyes landed on the dumbest object possible. The standing fan in the corner, the one that rattles on level 2. I dragged it to the door, jammed it against the knob, then flipped it on high facing the hallway. Why? No idea. Then I yanked my desk chair over, climbed onto it, and punched the smoke detector off the ceiling with the heel of my palm. The alarm detonated in the room like a gunshot. Instantly, every detector in the apartment joined in, then the hallway, then the whole building, a chain of screaming beeps. I did not think this through. That's probably why it worked. The voices outside my door vanished into movement. Fast now. I heard one of them curse for the first time, then the stairwell door banging open, multiple feet moving, neighbors shouting from below. My phone lit up. Good. More observers equals noise. Leave now if can. I shoved the window with my left shoulder and right forearm and felt something in my back pull hot and hard, but the frame finally popped. Cold air hit my face. The fire escape rattled when I climbed out. Below me, the street was chaos in miniature. Neighbors spilling out. One guy in boxers yelling about smoke. Someone filming. Car horns. The black sedan pulling away from the curb at last. Too smooth, too controlled. Disappearing at the corner without haste. For half a second, in the red reflection of the brake lights on the metal stairs, I saw a second shape moving beside mine. Not a person, my posture exactly, half a step behind. When I turned, nothing. I made it down to the alley and kept moving until my lungs burned and the shoulder felt like glass in the joint. I'm writing this from a 24-hour laundromat 3 neighborhoods away because it's bright, there are cameras, and there's an old woman here folding towels who keeps glaring at me like I owe her money. And right now, that feels like the safest thing in the world. I have 12% battery left. Jay sent one more message while I was running. I didn't read it until now. It says, "They will switch strategy. If they cannot verify the body, they will verify the history. Check your records. Start with the accident report. There may be 2 versions. I just logged into the hospital portal on this laundromat Wi-Fi. There are 2 files attached to my admission. Same date, same doctor, same diagnosis code. The first says, pedestrian struck by rideshare vehicle. The second, uploaded 6 minutes ago, says, injury sustained during workplace transit corridor incident. I have never worked anywhere with a transit corridor. I don't know how long I can keep posting before they bury this under nonsense or make me look insane in cleaner ways than I'm doing myself. But Jay was right about one thing. If this is a system, it hates witnesses. And now I think it has noticed me back.